A little over 12 hours ago, I put something on Twitter. Yeah, I still call it Twitter. That for one reason or another got quite a lot of attention. Kind of looks like it's hit home for a lot of players out there. And for a Twitter account of my size, somewhere around 350 or so followers, within the space of only 12 hours, I personally have never seen one of my own Twitter posts with as many likes or interactions, or especially replies, some of which I've found quite interesting. So if you're watching this video and you responded to that initial tweet, whether you think you're being nice, being mean, or you're not quite sure, I'm going to read your reply, give you a response, and again, if you're watching this and know that you've replied to that tweet within the first 12 hours of its posting, check the timestamps below if you want to jump straight to your comment. So, welcome to my Twitter account. And my post reads, I've accepted the fact that I will leave this research incomplete because I refuse to walk a crap IV Volcanion for 40 kilometers. With a screenshot of the research, and it's referring specifically to earn 2 candies, exploring with Volcanion as your buddy. And I have to admit, it's not as bad as I remembered it. I remembered it specifically as a 2-star for some reason in my head, but this one is a 12, 14, 13, which to be fair, there is a lot worse out there. And of all the mythicals that we currently have in the game, there's actually not too many that actually max out over 4000 CP. Volcanion's a fire and a water type, and purely the reason that I am not going to be bothering with that research is because, quite frankly, I've got other Pokemon that I want to focus on. And also, quite simply, as far as priorities go for working on buddies in the game, working on buddy Pokemon has never ever been a priority of mine. Looking at Buddy 5, I only have 28 best buddies in the game currently. Checking out Buddy 4, there's a Shundo Mewtwo. I haven't even bothered to get all the way to best buddy yet. A Shundo Mewtwo. It's just not a priority for me. I don't care. That being said, let's jump into the replies, and I'll try and go as best as possible from the earliest reply through to the most recent. So starting off first with Wafflekip, who sent this GIF. Agreed. I know, right? 100%. I like that. Next, SinnohSara. Thank you. You and me both. I can see we're on the same page. Lovely. Pogo Magic. Crap IV and useless. Again, yeah. I know, right? Both very valid points. The Wolverine. Massive respect for the brother right here. Actually, the man made one of my favourite t-shirts I've worn in a few of my videos. Check out his Etsy store, they're pretty good. He says, walk 19 kilometres, then puffin, then walk 1 more kilometre and retire that monkey fire. Brother, agreed. You're absolutely right. And I actually did respond to his reply. I said, I'm sure I'll get bored enough at some point to do this, or the shiny will come out, whichever comes first, which is pretty much my intention. If I do get bored enough, or I do run out of things to do in the moment, exactly what he said to do there is most likely how I'm going to do it. MikeyTheButcher, hey brother, you and me both bro. Thumbs down. 100%. Agree. Sirsworth, Poffin makes it 10 kilometers for me at 9.8 at the moment. That's awesome work. Congratulations. Yeah, again, for me, it's just not something that I want to work on. Kuroyuki Hime 6. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. There's going to be a few of these, no doubt. If you're actively getting them excited, it should only be 20 kilometers, 10 each per candy. Yeah, thank you. I do know this. I just know that for myself at the moment. This Volcanion's not worth my effort. Jonathan, you bought it, so you got to do it. Well, to be fair, my friend, and I know I'm not the only one that's guilty of this, but I once had a gym membership for 2 years that I actively used for maybe 2 months. And a lot of that came down to the majority of my physical activity actually coming from Pokemon Go. I don't know why it took me so long to cancel it. I have now, but I absolutely see what you're saying. I didn't just buy that ticket for Volcanion though. There were a lot of other bonuses with the ticket that were just too good to miss out on. So Mr.Presentable, same lol, and he's got the same research right there. He's completed the rest of it with no progress towards earn 2 candies exploring Volcanion as your buddy. Russell Stum says, I was told to walk 10.5 kilometers, then use a puffin, then you get 2 for the price of 1. It sounds right. I think it'll work a bit better if you get a little bit closer to 20 kilometers. So once you use your puffin after walking the initial 10 kilometers, when you use that puffin, that first candy is going to be automatically earned. You then have to make sure you walk the next 10 kilometers before that puffin expires to earn the second candy. Otherwise, if you don't get it done before the puffin expires, then that'll revert back to 20. So if you do what Wolverine mentioned earlier, walk 19, use a puffin, you then get the first candy for the initial 10k's walk plus your extra candy in the next 1 kilometer. BigFluff says, I'm only doing it as I want to complete as many as I can. I consider myself somewhat of a completionist. In my special research stack, it's the only one that I need to complete. So I mean, on that point alone, at some point later on I may get bored of seeing that on the screen and just bite the bullet, put Volcanion as my buddy and go ahead and complete it. I just don't have any desire to do that for now. PokemonGoPlayer says this was not a good decision. Have to be honest, I'm not too sure what you're meaning. Not a good decision as in me, my deciding not to walk it, or the game's deciding to put that as one of the tasks. If it's the first, as in my decision wasn't a good decision, I don't see how that matters, because in the end it's my decision. Doesn't hurt anyone, it doesn't even hurt me. If you're talking about a decision from the game's perspective, I can kind of get that as well. I do feel like them giving us certain tasks that forces us to do things that we may not necessarily want to do in order to complete something can be a little bit poor. Not a lot of people play the game as much as I do, so they might not necessarily want to waste 40 kilometers of their walking time walking a 2-star Volcanion when they have multiple other hundos or shinies that they want to work on at the same time. So Matt says, I feel like in a year they'll change it to power up your Volcanion X amount of times or something, which I feel like is quite generally the task that we would usually see in a research like this. Or power up your mythical Pokemon, whatever it was, 3 times. I don't know. Again, all of my researches have been completed, so I've done them. I just can't remember what the tasks are. ExtraContent says, if you went to an in-person Go Fest, then you get to do it twice. I hated this one the first time, and now I get to do it again. I didn't go to an in-person Go Fest, but I'm pretty glad I don't get to do it twice. I feel ya. SaveTheWhales says, y'all are lazy as hell. Go for a few walks a week, and you'll be there in no time. I don't think you expected me to be making a video about this, eh? But a statement like that says more about you than it does about me. You don't even know me. I walk plenty in this game. Currently on my Pogo profile page sitting at around 28,000 kilometers. Then I also responded further down the line. The screenshot from the week of GoFest. Hatched 416 eggs and walked 161 kilometers. And upon seeing that, you then said it shouldn't be a problem to walk 40 kilometers then. And you're right. It isn't a problem walking 40 kilometers. I just don't want to walk a low IV Volcanion when I could walk something else better. Especially when I know that in a few years' time, shiny Volcanion is going to come out, which I'm then eventually going to bottle cap, make a Shundo, and I could walk that one instead. I don't have to do this now. Sheesh. Christopher at Kaleman811 says, if you have 2 Poffins, walk them 10 kilometers, then use a Poffin. It doesn't have to be in one day. Yeah. Thank you, brother. Yes, I know this too. Is that a sea wave icon? Joshu Yaki. Pokewalker will do it for you. You, sir, are not wrong. So will a sock. TheSunMick did the same for Mega Evolving Diancie. Golden Cap House solved this 2 years later. Absolutely love that. Mega Diancie is actually one of the more useful Pokemon in game. A top rock type attacker? Is it still the very top? Like number 1? Like the best? Volcanion's not the best in any category. Like any of them. So yeah, I did the same for Diancie as well. 13 Wonka 13, he says, same here, they are in 2 stars. Paid $15 getting 2 stars. In a lot of cases, yes, a lot of them did. That just tends to be most people's luck these days, paying for these mythical Pokemon and getting what we get. Personally, I feel like the IV floor should be higher, at least, for paid mythicals. Slayer45 says, haha, phew, thought I was the only one. Haha. I mean, it's clear from the comment section, definitely not the only one, mate. I'm glad I'm not the only one too. Squishy Ladybug says, well, I don't have a Volcanion, but I do understand what it's like to accept that I'll never complete certain tasks. This is a new concept for me, and the whole reason for me posting that in the first place. I've completed every other timed research, every other special research in the game. This is the first time I've actually actively chosen to ignore just one, and me posting that last night was my sign of acceptance that I'm quite happy to just let that sit there as long as I need to. So, cool. Thank you. Qirdich, 20 kilometers, and you don't even need Poffin if you use a bike or like running, I guess. Not that I'm walking it either, because you know, I have other 10 kilometer candy priorities. Mate, exactly the same. I'm the same too. This is exactly how I feel. Sergio F3, oh, let's play. Thank you, Sergio. I wish I had more room. I'm almost at capacity now, and spaces that I need to keep open for other players that I actively play with, and also YouTube memberships, which I save spaces for as well. Cornelius Bascara says, right, question mark, question mark, question mark. I know, right? Just, yeah. Okay. AnVigna says, if only that could be cut in half somehow, with the rolling eye emoji. I get it. I do get it. Yep, if only. If only it could. Donny Nazdarova. I only walked it for like 20 kilometers to finish it. Good thing that was my daily walk range, so I finished it in a day. I think generally I'm sort of averaging walking around 6 to 7 kilometers in a day, and that's on days with no events on. Something like a community day, 3 hours, maybe 12 Ks in a day. A Go Fest could be upwards of 20 plus. 20 kilometers daily is huge, massive, awesome. Azurina 1983, Alimeo, same. And again, another one there with the same. Oh, actually looks like you've got the same research just above it as that guy further down. The one with the Groudon Kyogre candies. 3 PTY Chew 3. Is that Party Chew? What a lame... Okay. Oh, yeah, there's a translate button there. What does that say? What a lame, what a guy. Just walk normally instead of driving everywhere. I can walk. I've already established this. Hyssop says, I managed to get the first candy in 10 kilometers because walk distances were half. Don't know which event bonus it was, and I was 8.5 kilometers towards the next 10. Went out, walked, checked, and it shot back up to 20 kilometers. Slightly peed off. Oh, yeah, that'd be annoying. Mr. Ramirez says, -3 stars. Awesome. -2. Only barely. Only just. Dr. Life Coach. When the bottle cap becomes available again, then I will do this. Other than that, it can sit there. That's cool. I like that. I personally have my own goals for bottle caps when they do come back. I'm working on a live hundo dex, and I'm also working on trying to keep up my shundo count because it's an active running little contest that I have with my partner. So why I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be waiting until the shiny comes out, because at that point, yeah, I can use my bottle cap on the shiny version and add another shundo to my collection. Justin O'Donnell says, same, my 12-12-12 volcano gives me no motivation to walk it. I hear you, mate, exactly the same for me. Fitzinabox says, say you are fat without saying you are fat. I'm not sure what you're trying to achieve with that. But again, probably another one of those ones who didn't expect me to be making a video about it. Thank you for the comment. Here we go. I'll give it a like, because no one else did. Ashley says, touch grass, dude. I did it in 3 days. That's cool. If I really wanted to, I could do it in 2, but I don't want to. Ooh, I feel really bad about these ones because Bjorno Bodhisattva? My bad, my guy. But he said, damn, I think most people just bid it and walked it for Go Fest. Yeah, I think you're right. Joshua Littman, I'll do it eventually. I just have better stuff to work on right now. Again, 100% agree. That's the same as me as well. If I get bored enough, I'll do it eventually, which kind of sounds like what you're saying here too. lilskittygirl, period. That research can collect dust. I'm good. LMFAO. Yeah, that's what mine's going to be doing. Mr. FunAccount, or it will do what mine is doing. Walked almost 10 kilometers, got all 6 hearts from my poffin, but then walked together stats still read 0 kilometers. Provided video to Niantic help as proof, but they ignore my request for help. They ignore every time someone proves the issue is on their side. That's a real shame. I really hope that gets sorted out. But Danny Behart, if you use a poffin in exactly 9.7, you'll get 2 candies. It gets the second one on 4 minutes of poffin. Awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, we covered it a little bit earlier. I appreciate it. Ivan, same. Nice. Same. Karen Tamatea. Are you a Māori? I know, right? Where's the fish? In the ocean. But I agree. IceFrozenWolfie says, could always just have it as your buddy and let it just happen over time. Yeah, I could. But if I've got Volcanion as my buddy, I don't have something that I actually want as my buddy. Like this Mew that I'm currently trying to hyper train. But no doubt there'll be a lot of other people out there doing the same thing. So yeah, agree. Regular Bean 1 says, after I finish my bottle cap challenges. Yes, again, just what I said to the last guy. Elsa Shivers store keys. Same, I'm only going to do it when I don't have a buddy option. Ali Mayo. Yep, same, cool. Amy Teresa. Same, I just don't want it as my buddy. Me too, I hear you. Andrew Stasen. Lucky for me with my job, I did it in 1 day. Your job must be crazy. Sounds very active. And MsMaria says, I just have Adventure Sync on and it didn't take too long. I'm almost done on my second candy already. I appreciate that. Yeah, the Adventure Sync works really well. And then there are some hidden comments down the bottom because, I don't know, I guess Twitter thinks that they're dodgy. ThePokeFam 47 says, yes, must be the exclamation point there, mate. I think you must have scared the algorithm a little bit. Agree. Yes, Matthew says, not being funny, but why buy a ticket as the chances of a good one would be remote? Volcanion, again, wasn't the only thing that, well, actually wasn't the thing at all that I was buying with the ticket. I buy the ticket because I want to play GoFest. I wanted the increased shiny rates. I wanted the extra things to do because I like having things to do. Wasabi Lover says, what a loser. Well, you know what? That's okay. You love wasabi? I love wasabi too. And Hydra Dragon Lady says you can literally knock that out in 2 weeks. I disagree, because on average I'm walking about 60 to 80 k's in a week. So I could actually knock that out on one. And in the space of 40 minutes that it took me to record this video, there's even more replies now. But we're gonna cut it there for the video. Otherwise it literally feels like it could just go on forever. Quite clearly, given all the comments that have come from this little tweet regarding me not wanting to walk more Volcanion because I've got better things that I want to walk. Like, I should probably get that Shundo Mewtwo up to best buddies by now. I'll be keen to hear from you. If you bought the ticket and you got your Volcanion and you're up to that stage in the research, are you going to bother even completing it, or are you just going to let it sit there and marinate until the shiny one comes out? Me personally making the decision not to complete it is not because I'm too lazy or I'm overweight or anything silly like that. It's purely just a choice that I want to make. And last night I accepted the fact that that research is going to be sitting there unfinished until I get so bored that I just decide to get it done. So with that, I'm keen to hear your thoughts. Let me know down in the comments, and as always, I look forward again to seeing you in the next one. But that's alright.